There is a monster college football game tomorrow night coming up. It is the first of the games of the century for this season. We're a day away from number 2 Alabama and number 3 Georgia. Bama facing the reality of playing this game without coach Nick Saban, who, as you know, tested positive for the coronavirus earlier this week. So let me bring Heather and Paul in to the conversation here. Heather Dinich, our insider, and Paul Finebaum, the legend. Heather, what is the latest from Bama as they get set to take on the Georgia Bulldogs without their head coach?
Well, Greeny, honestly, it's hard to tell because Alabama has not been very forthcoming in letting the media or the public know the scope of Nick Saban's positive test as far as contact tracing goes throughout the team. And that is consistent with how Alabama has handled its test results during the coronavirus pandemic. It has not made those test results public. And the reason for that, I am told, is because of concerns for student health privacy issues, which is fair, but at the same time, there are emails from other schools like Florida and Clemson and Penn State who do release those numbers by team. Now, one other thing to remember is that if Nick Saban gets 3 straight negative PCR tests and remains asymptomatic, he can come out of isolation or quarantine and coach. But again, we don't know what his latest test results have been, so there are still some questions surrounding Alabama's program right now.
Okay, wait, so let's just do some math. So 3 straight. So he tested positive Wednesday. So in theory, if he tested negative, are there enough days for him to test negative in time for him to actually wind up being on the field for this game? Heather, I guess that's what I'm trying to ask you. Is that even a remote possibility?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because if he got a second test on Wednesday to confirm that original test, what was the result of that? So if there was a second test Wednesday, a test Thursday, and then a test Friday, what were the results of that? So I don't know. So I'm going to assume that he is positive and asymptomatic, but who knows? Because Alabama doesn't say anything. But of course, they'll let everyone know if he's coming back on Saturday.
And so, Paul, let's just live in a world where Steve Sarkisian is the coach for this game. How does that affect the outcome in your mind?
I think it could. Sarkisian is not exactly a Hall of Fame coach. He was a 500 coach at the University of Washington. He had 1 season and 3 games at Southern Cal before he was unceremoniously fired for appearing at a booster event publicly drunk. So I'm not saying any of that connects to Saturday night, but he hasn't been a head coach since. He has been a coordinator, and he's been an outstanding offensive coordinator. All you have to do is watch the Alabama offense, but it's different calling the plays and making every single decision.
All right, I just have a funny feeling that we have not heard the last of this situation before the game kicks off. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.